Welcome back to Get Lost Traveling. I'm David, and today I'm in San Francisco. I'm about to do a urban hike in San Francisco's waterfront. The goal is to get 20,000 steps and also to show you 12 things you can do and see along this loop. Hopefully it'll help you in planning your next trip to San Francisco. But before we get started, I just want to let you know that there are timestamps in the description so you can jump around in this video as you want. There is a lot to see, so come get lost with me. This loop will take us from South Beach down Embarcadero Boulevard all the way to Fisherman's Wharf, then up Russian Hill to Lombard, one of the most crooked streets in San Francisco, and then we'll cross North Beach and up COIT Tower to an amazing view of the city, and finally back to South Beach again. The entire loop is 2.5 hours if we walk straight through, but vlogging, it's not going to happen like that. So I'm curious how long this whole thing's going to take. So before we get started, let's do a quick check on how many steps I'm starting with. 4,618 steps, and it's currently 11:23. So the first thing you should be checking out is Oracle Park, and we are at Oracle Park. Originally it was named Pacific Bell Park and it opened in 2000. It's located in South Beach neighborhood of the city and home of the Major League Baseball team, the Giants. We haven't seen the game here yet, but I hear they allow people to see free innings on the other side of the ballpark. I think it's on the bay side. We're at the bay side of the ballpark right over here, and this is McCovey Cove. It's named after a famous Giants player. In the cove itself, I guess there's sometimes some splash hits where home runs hit into the bay, and there are people who kayak here to the home games and wait here for any splash hits. There is a kayak and rental place at Pier 40, and I think you can pick that up and just launch it and paddle over here and wait for those home run balls to hit. Wow, this is a first. I've never seen this before. I've never seen the drawbridge here, and was just wondering earlier if this was even a drawbridge. Apparently it is. This is where the free innings can be seen. Here's the rules for the free viewing. Each viewing area has maximum of 10 viewers. I think they reduced that because of COVID. I think it used to be a lot more, and guests are asked to vacate after 3rd, 6th, and 9th inning. If you take a look at this, it's actually a pretty nice view. The home base is there. Home plate is there, and so you can actually see quite a good view of the ballpark and the game. Also, right next to the ballpark, there is a boat docking area. There's just a ton of boats here. So we've walked out of the Oracle Park area, and this is Embarcadero, and it runs the entire length of the waterfront all the way from here to Fisherman's Wharf. So there is a trolley that runs up and down this road. It's the E, but it's currently not running because it usually just has a lot of tourists, and we don't have a lot of tourists in the city right now. The ones that are running right now is actually for locals, mainly people commuting. This one actually goes to the more of the interior of the city, and it goes all the way down to the Caltrans station at the end of this block. So on the other side of the Embarcadero is a lot of residential area, as well as restaurants and eateries. A lot of people that live here like to come up and walk along the waterfront. This is Pier 32, and down a little bit further is Pier 33. Pier 32 and Pier 33 used to be the cruise terminals, but the cruise terminal has moved down to Pier 27, and so this is currently a parking lot. So we're coming up on Red's right now. Red's has been around for a long time. I think it originally opened in 1929 and was called Franco's Lunch. And during that time, it served food to longshoremen and sailors. And in 1955, the new owners changed its name to Red's Java House, and it hasn't changed since then. When I used to work in downtown and came here with my coworkers for lunch, we always got the hamburger and bud combo for $5, and today that's nearly $12. And definitely visit here when you get a chance. It's got a nice view, nice patio seating in the back, and then it's right next to the Bay Bridge, which is the third thing you definitely want to check out when you're on this loop. So around the Pier 28 area, we have the Bay Bridge. And this is kind of the underside of the Bay Bridge, which is really not the best view. We want to walk down towards the other side a little bit further. 250,000 cars driving across this every day is actually quite impressive. It's, I think, the busiest bridge in the whole Bay Area. The bridge was actually completed in 1936. It consists of two spans, one on the San Francisco side, which is this one over here, and the other one on the Oakland side. And they both meet at Yerba Buena Island. The entire bridge used to be a double-decker, but during the Loma Prieta earthquake in 1989, the eastern span, which is the Oakland span, collapsed and was replaced with a new one in, I think, 2013. And right around the corner over here, we have restaurants. So this is a couple restaurants along the waterfront. It's kind of busy, but right now I'm just not sure how busy it gets, but there seems to be a private party going on over here. Okay, so we are coming up on the fourth thing to see on this route, and it is CUPID SPAN. CUPID SPAN is a public art piece that was installed in 2002. It's kind of a hit or miss with a lot of locals. We either like it or we hate it. I actually like it. I kind of enjoy it. There's something interesting, did not know about this, but I guess San Francisco used to be an ancient river valley, and creatures were stalked here when they were grazing by prey. So I guess there were mammoths here, saber-toothed cats, camels, wow, that's interesting, and even sloths. Huh. That's pretty cool. There's a reproduction of a skull. We're headed to our fifth location, which is the Pier 14 walkway. Pier 14 is a pedestrian walkway that goes out pretty far into the bay, giving you a really nice view of the city behind me, which is crazy beautiful. And then you also have the Bay Bridge right next to it. So from out here, the Bay Bridge looks pretty big and pretty close. There's just one guy fishing today, and this is the insane view coming back into the city. And from out here, you could pretty much see most of the city. Zooming in a little bit, that's COIT Tower right there. We'll be going up there a little bit later. We're headed to our sixth location, and this is the Ferry Building. We're actually just right outside the Ferry Building, and it looks like today there is a farmer's market. It is Saturday, and on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays they do have a farmer's market. Selling some fresh fruits and vegetables here. There's definitely a lot of people here today. It's pretty packed. The Ferry Building is San Francisco's main ferry terminal. During the weekdays, thousands of commuters use the ferry terminal to commute from Oakland, Alameda, and Sausalito, which is across the Golden Gate Bridge. And it's also a gourmet foodies hotspot. There's plenty of eateries and food shops inside. I guess there's some special cars coming down. Oh, there's a bunch of bike riders. I guess there is a bike ride on the weekends, and it's escorted by the SFPD. It's pretty cool. Yep, wow. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh. Whoa, that is crazy though. There's a lot of riders. So typical to a weekend here, there are vendors selling all types of stuff here. Okay, now I am past the Ferry Building, and I just want to do a quick update on my steps. So far, I've got 9282. It took a while because there's quite a lot of stuff to see, and now we are heading towards the north side of the Ferry Building. This is a little bit interesting. We got some... Hello! I don't know what that is, but it's entertaining. There is so many people dressed up. So this is just a normal day in the city, kind of, with a lot of hello. Wow, that's kind of crazy. So the seventh place that we're at is the Exploratorium. It is a museum of science and technology, and it was established back in 1969 by Frank Oppenheimer. It opened at the Palace of Fine Arts and was at that location until 2013 when it shut down and the Exploratorium moved here to Pier 15. So even the outside is very hands-on for visitors. This guy's sitting here and the other person is sitting on the other side over there like this, and they can actually hear each other and hold a conversation. When you walk through them, you actually hear them talking to each other. So it's pretty neat. So this is the entrance for the Exploratorium, and down this way is the entire pier. And I heard there's like 6 or 8 galleries full of exhibits. It's pretty big. So we are at Pier 27 right now. This is the new cruise terminal. We passed by the old terminal at 30 and 32, and this is the new one. It's much bigger, much nicer, and there's parking right next to it, but it is definitely not a place that you would need to visit. Okay, so we are leaving the Embarcadero area and we're headed into Fisherman's Wharf, and right before we get to Pier 39 there is a aquarium. It's Aquarium of the Bay. The aquarium is maintained by the people who take care of the sea lions, but it's really not a very exciting place to visit. This one is a little bit of a tourist trap. Although there's a lot of people that visit, it's overpriced and there's really not much to see there. And the number 8 thing on the list to do is Pier 39. There's a lot of people here today. Pier 39 is a shopping and entertainment center, and it was built in 1978. There's a lot of restaurants here. They have a Nathan's hot dog, so I guess it's not just for Coney Island anymore. So for those who are more into the carnival aspect of Pier 39, we do have Plunge over here. That is a kind of a amusement park ride, and then we also have the carousel over here. I think it costs $8 for that, and I think this Plunge is like about $12. Like behind the carousel is a stage where there's magic shows as well as comedians. There is a comedian right there, but the best way to see it is actually upstairs. Wow, not a comedian.
7 years now professionally. Just try. Don't be scared, okay? I have something for you once you do this, okay? Alright, ladies and gentlemen.
So Pier 39 is also a good place to get a nice view of Alcatraz. On the other side of the second level, you have really good views of Alcatraz, which is right here. It's a lot of overcast today, but let's kind of zoom in a little bit. There's Alcatraz. And also there's sea lions right downstairs. We'll go check that out right now. So if you prefer to be down at the ground level and see Alcatraz, you can do that as well. If you take a turn on here, go left, you'll see some sea lions in a little bit. Yeah, there is definitely not too many sea lions today. Normally this entire area is full, but they're all over there. So here's the explanation of why the sea lions aren't here. Because during the summer months, they go somewhere else. The ninth thing to do along the way is the rest of Fisherman's Wharf. Fisherman's Wharf is a neighborhood and a popular tourist attraction. It got its name during the Gold Rush era when North Italian fishermen immigrated into the city. Today, it is one of the busiest and most famous tourist attractions in America. It's got Pier 39, where we just came from. There's also a bunch of museums like Ripley's Believe It or Not, Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, and an arcade museum called Musée Mécanique. It's also the home of Ghirardelli Square and also the cannery, where Del Monte used to can their fruit. There's also a bunch of restaurants and eateries that serve up fresh steamed crabs, lobster rolls, and clam chowder served in sourdough bread bowls. And one of the most famous ones in San Francisco to get one of those clam chowders is Bodine. Bodine's is where you want to go. You can watch them make the sourdough as well over here. They have a big old window for you to do that. This guy's doing it right now. I think they need some bread with the cheese, don't they? It's crazy. That's what makes it good, though.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. I'll go get mine. You stand here.
Oh.
They're getting the garlic loaves. I guess it does bring in some customers. We are headed close to the San Francisco Maritime National Historic Park. And this is also where we turn. So right now we're leaving Fisherman's Wharf behind and heading up this little hill to Lombard Street. The walk should take about, actually, it's roughly about 5 blocks up. And I know it is, but anyways, yeah, so we're walking up to the top of Russian Hill, and then we'll go down Lombard. One of the cable cars going down, and they're just doing test runs right now. And thank you. They're doing test runs, and beginning next month, they're supposed to be running it for the entire month, and it's supposed to be free for anybody who wants to ride it. Okay, so just a quick update on the steps. I've got 17,040 steps. There's a bunch of bricks laid out on this block, which is pretty nice. There's already people up there, so I fully expect a lot of people. Lombard is a 1-block residential street that has in it 8 sharp turns. It was built in 1922 with the intentions of making the steep hill drivable. It's a huge tourist attraction which brings in about 2 million cars each year. This is Lombard Street, and COIT Tower is right over here. That's where we're heading next. Lombard Street. Now we're done with Lombard. We're heading over to COIT Tower. I'm gonna try and get to COIT Tower through the Greenwich stairs. I haven't taken that route before. It'll be fun. I heard it's very beautiful. And on the way down, we're gonna take the FILBERT Steps. Okay, so we're here at Greenwich and Samsung, and this is the beginning of the Greenwich steps. And these first steps are basically concrete and steel, and these are quite steep, but I think it levels off towards the middle and the top. And now it's a slight incline, pretty much all the way up to COIT Tower. These steps actually take you through the front and backyards of a lot of houses. So we got more stairs to go up, and there's a lot of jasmine being grown in this area. I smell it all over. It's really nice. There's the last section of the stairs, and here's the vista point. So right over here, Pier 31 is right down that way, and then we have the big bridge right there. And now it's time to head up these stairs, and then we're gonna hit COIT Tower in a little bit. And we are at COIT Tower. This is COIT Tower. And this is Pioneer Park on top of Telegraph Hill. COIT Tower was built in 1933. It's supposed to be Art Deco. There's a mural inside that depicts the history of the city and its industrial and agricultural background. 25 artists contributed to the mural. They were paid $25 to $45 per week to depict life in California. This was the first New Deal program to employ artists during the Great Depression. Nice day with no overcast. You would see definitely a lot of the bay, but right now the fog's rolling in. But the park looks nice. But unfortunately, the tower is closed today. Right now it's closed. I think it's just closed. So if you walk behind COIT Tower, this is the backside of COIT Tower, and turn behind you, there is a great view of downtown San Francisco and the Bay Bridge right over here. It's pretty nice. You don't have to go up the tower to get some views. Okay, so we're done with the 11th location, which is COIT Tower, and now I'm finding my way down the FILBERT Steps. I think they're along this way, and so far so nice, so good. I mean, so far so good. It's taken a little bit longer than I expected. So the FILBERT Steps is the last and 12 things that you should do on this trail. The FILBERT Steps has about 600 steps to it. There used to be trash all over the place until the 1950s, when the neighborhood started cleaning up and planting their lush gardens. The steps are definitely easier to descend rather than ascend. And here's the next flight of steps down. And I think this is supposed to be really, really nice because there's a bunch of neighborhood gardens right there. This is a weird place for a fire hydrant. Like in the middle of nowhere. There's more steps down, and then to this side we have people's garden, and then we got this side houses and other people's garden as well. So this is a pretty nice looking garden here. A lot of flowers all over. So this is the last part of the steps. It's quite a drop off the edge, but the stairs are fairly steep going down. So there's FILBERT Steps, and then once you get down and across the street, this is Levi Plaza. And so this is pretty much towards the end of the walk. I still have maybe another like half an hour walk to my car, and that's basically it. I'll give you a bit of a roundup at the end of how many steps I've got, and we'll see you back there in my car in a little bit. And so now I'm back in my car. It took me a little bit over half an hour to walk back here, And just to recap the steps that I took so far, when I started this, I had 4,618 steps. Right now, I am at 25,912 steps. So in total, I've walked a little bit over 21,000 steps, which is not bad. And I actually spent about 8 hours on this little urban hike. It wasn't really hard. It was fairly easy, except for a little bit of incline at Lombard as well as the stairs at COIT Tower. Those were a little bit challenging, but it was really kind of easy. I think in total it says that I have walked about 10 miles, and it feels like I've walked 10 miles, but it's been pretty fun. It's been a really long day, and I think I'm going to end it here. Please subscribe, and thanks for getting lost with me, and I'll see you on the next one.